Here we are, getting out of Palma and reaching the mountain for another ride to discover the center and north of Tramontana. Today we will ride all the way from Sawyer to CAP the Formentor. If you haven't seen the first episode, catch up and watch it. I'm leaving the city behind. You can definitely feel the road entering into the mountains of the Tramontana Natural Park. Proceeding along the road connecting Palma to Sawyer, we reach a roundabout where we can decide if to take the old road and climb the mountains or take the more recent tunnel which cut the way into the mountains and goes straight to Sawyer. Today I'm taking the tunnel. It is a 3 kilometers long tunnel open to the traffic in 1997. At first was under payment, a really expensive toll of about €5 for non-resident tourists, but became free in 2017. Getting out the tunnel, you get into the Valley of Gold. The name is given by the abundance of citrus fruit, which in the past also gave prosperity to the area. Let's go back to our ride. The main road passes right on the side of the town of Sawyer and can get quite crowded in the summer season. Following the signs for Yuc and Poyenza, we finally get to the junction with the MA10 road that starts climbing the mountain and literally safe from the hotness of the valley. At the top of the road, a tunnel transports us in the valley enclosed in between the two major peaks of the Tramontana. Puig de Massaneia, 1,356 meters, and Puig Mayor, 1,445 meters, which is also the highest peak of the Balearic Islands. Two turquoise lakes are hidden in the heart of the Tramontana. The lake of Gorg Blau is the bigger of the two artificial lakes created in the 70s by building a dam. It was initially meant to produce electricity, but in fact was used to provide water to the island, which needs has grown with its tourism. The name Gorg Blau, in Spanish it would be Poza Azul, which means blue pool, a good description for this body of water having a beautiful shade of this color. Before the dam was built, this place had an admirable, very different beauty. Here, in the place of the lake, there was used to be a deep gorge, and the river had the same blue color of the actual lake. It is possible to walk on the opposite side of the lake, where you can even discover remains dating back to the Iron Age. That column on the side of the road was taken from those ancient ruins. The actual tunnel located at the end of the lake has been built under the rocks in the exact same place where the ancient bridge was connecting the two sides in the most narrow point of the gorge. Here a peek of how it looked like in 1906. Out of the tunnel, the road reached the crossroad to the famous Coves of Sacalobra and passed under these beautiful arches of the aqueduct of Gorg Blau. Proceeding in direction of Yuc, the road ran parallel to an inaccessible part of the coast. The Mirador de Centrefort is the last viewpoint of the coast before reaching Poyenza, and from here you can get an idea of the unique rocks formation shaping this part of the coastline. Between Uc and Poyenza, the bizarre rock formations create a peculiar landscape, shaped by the reaction of the rain's acidic water on the limestone rocks, resulting in a corrosive process. This, between Uc and Poyenza, might not be the most famous and hunted part of the route, but the singular landscape and the much less traffic makes it very enjoyable and worth the ride. We have reached the point where we can see the Poyenza Bay. Here the road starts descending on the other side of the island and leave the mountain for a little while. Only once past Poyenza we can go back to the beautiful karst scenery of the Tramuntana, entering the peninsula in the road leading to the northern tip of the entire island. Longing and excited to get to the tip of the peninsula, when I get halfway I discover the road is closed to the traffic from 10 in the morning to midnight during the high season. So I decide to ride a little bit back to explore a dismissed road unnoticed before over the parking of the famous Mirador de Escolumer. It is not a well-maintained road, but it is perfectly fine to ride. The view you can get from here over the islands are absolutely amazing, and the best I've seen so far in the entire island. The road ends on the tip of the peak, overwatching both sides of the Formentor Peninsula. The place is called Talaia d'Albercuch. First, you meet few abandoned buildings. Right below the tower, one of the many watchtowers, part of the defensive system of the island, built in the late 16th century. From this privileged position, you have a 360 degrees stunning view of the island. You can see the Poyenza Bay, Alcudia with its peninsula and bay, and part of the Tramuntana. In the next morning, I enjoy an early ride straight to the lighthouse of Cape Formentor, along the beautiful curvy road that leads to the northern tip of Mallorca, as well as the northern end of the Serra de Tramuntana, where the mountain's line meets the Mediterranean Sea. The Mallorcans also call the cape the meeting point of the winds. The lighthouse sits at the end of the 20-kilometer peninsula northeast of the port of Poyenza. Opened in 1863, the remote and rugged location on the Formentor Cape had made construction difficult, as the only accesses were from the sea or via a long mule track. It was only in 1925 that the 13-kilometer road, which runs from Porto Poyenza to Cape the Formentor, was built by the Italian engineer Antonio Parietti.
Merece venir aquí, merece.
¿De dónde eres?
Italiana.
Are you from Italia?
Italia, Italia.
Nice
Sí,
to
pero
meet you.
hace 2 años que vivo aquí,
¿Aquí en Mallorca mismo?
en Mallorca mismo.
Ah, pues entonces ya lo conoces mucho. Qué bien, ya. Pues nada, vamos a ver las vistas. ¿Estás animado a venir? Gracias.
Buen día.
Let's enjoy the views then. If you enjoyed watching the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Bye!